without you I was feeling lost. But you're the one who can make it go away. All you have to do is look at me. Sometimes I can't breathe, but it feels like you're the one who saves me. When I try but don't succeed, yeah, it feels like you're the one who saves me, the one who saves me.
It feels so weird to be picking up the camera right now and speaking to you. I'm gonna be real with you. I have got my baby girl next to me right now and she's fast asleep. So there might be some cutting and starting, who knows. She's 4 weeks old today, which is so exciting. I cannot believe that I am a mother. Honestly, guys, I cannot believe it. Anyone who watches my channel and is a mother right now, hats off to you. I didn't realise that motherhood is probably the hardest job I have ever had in my life. I wouldn't change it for the world. You might hear her little grunts in the background, and it's because she is half asleep. She makes these little grunts, so if you can hear that, it's just her grunting in the background, but she's okay. She's happy as Larry right now. On the 12th of March at 1:05 p.m, my baby girl was born, and she was 6 pounds and she was so tiny. My birth story is probably one of the best achievements that I've ever done in my life, and there's a lot of things that I've experienced already in the last 29 years, and I've got to say, giving birth is probably one of the best experiences that I've ever had. I'd like to just interrupt this video. This is Editing Megan, just interrupting right now, just to quickly say that I understand that I had a really good experience in my labour, and this is my story, and I just want to reflect that I'm just talking on my experience and my story. I know that there's a lot of women that may have not had the best experience. I just want to shed light on that as well. This is my story and I'm just talking from my perspective. I just wanted to make sure that I covered that because I understand that everyone has a different experience in labour, and yeah, anything can happen, so just be aware of that. Everyone's story is different. I'm going to try so hard as well, by the way, to not ramble in this and just stick to the birth story. I hope you can just cope with the fact that I'm a little bit sleep deprived. I am literally getting into new routines and my life has completely done a 360 in the best way possible. Hello. She settled herself, so we're all good. We're all good for now. We're all good. So it started on the 11th of March and I was having contractions that morning. So in the morning I started feeling these really bad pains, and I've got to say it's like period pains. However, you've got to breathe. Like, you just can't move for a whole second and you just gotta focus on breathing. It was like that throughout the day, however, it wasn't constant. So it was happening a few times, like maybe in the space of an hour, and then it'd go 3 hours and it wouldn't happen at all. I did ring the midwife that day, just letting him know my symptoms, that I was feeling these contractions. Well, I thought, because I didn't have a clue, and she recommended that I stay at home as long as I can, and yeah, just come in when it starts getting a little bit more intense. That's what I did, and I thought throughout the day, because they disappeared for hours, and I thought, okay, I think we're gonna be all right. Love you, baby girl. Big stretch. Big stretch. She just settles usually a lot better on me, which comes with its pros and cons. I love it, but also sometimes I can't get anything done. Okay, so where was I? That night when we were having tea, didn't feel anything for a while, but I sent my mum a warning text just saying, hey mum, just to let you know, I've been contracting a little bit today, so we might have to drop the dogs off. It might happen in the middle of the night. We got to bed that night and it got so intense. When I was getting a contraction, I literally would just freeze up. Holy moly, this is intense. This felt so intense and I don't know what to do about it. I've never felt pain like it. I was just like, okay, this is a lot. We need to go. I cannot handle this. So we rang up the hospital, let them know that we're going to be coming in. Then we drove down to my mum's in York, dropped the dogs off, and then drove to the hospital. And all that time I was contracting, and I was contracting probably every, like within the hour. I was happening like 3 or 4 times. Got to the hospital, they checked me over and they said I was around 1 to 2 centimetres, and I was just thinking, is that it? I was like, is that it? And I'm feeling all of this pain. They said, okay, we'll just do a quick sweep. We just had to stay in hospital and we were just waiting it out. We were just waiting out these contractions. And by this time we'd been awake all of that day through on the 11th, and then this was starting to happen on the night. So we got to the hospital around midnight. It was just getting worse. The pain was just unbearable. Like for me, it felt unbearable. I felt like I just could not handle this pain at all. Breathing through it, I really didn't want to be someone that's loud or moaning, but I was. Okay, I was. It got to the point where it was making me sick. I was gipping and gagging, and then I finally started throwing up with it. I have a huge fear of being sick because I have a past of being sick and passing out. So I've always had a fear of it. So the fact that I was sick as well as these contractions, it just felt so much in the moment. One of the midwives came in, they checked me again a few hours later, and I was still only around now 3 centimetres dilated. However, this was going on for hours, and I was just thinking, the pain is just so much, and I was exhausted at this point. They offered me some morphine because of how long I had to go still. So they said, look, to give you a little bit of a break and try and get some shut-eye, we'll give you a bit of morphine. Yes, give me that morphine as soon as possible right now. So they did. They gave me a bit of morphine and it made me still feel the pain. However, it was so bearable now. I had a bit of sleep. So I think I fell asleep probably about half an hour. When I woke up, it felt like the morphine just completely weared off. The pain was starting to get bad again and I was throwing up again. Midwife came in. I have no idea, by the way, guys. When you're in the moment, you're not checking the time, I'm not checking anything. I'm just in that present moment. I think this was probably the early hours of the morning. Checked me over, said, I'll check you down there. She checked me down there and she was just, apparently, because I was just so dazed at this point in this pain, 8, 9, 10 centimetres dilated at this point, I don't know. They just said to me, you need to go to the delivery room now. They literally got a wheelchair and rushed me off to the delivery room. And I'm not even joking, trying to sit down in a wheelchair when you are that dilated and feeling those contractions, honestly, I've never felt pain like it. And they wheeled me straight to the delivery room. This is when things really started happening now. I asked immediately, because I missed that morphine moment, please can I have the epidural? Please can I have anything? And they were like, no. They said I can't have the epidural because of how far gone I was. It was just too late, so I just had to push her out. The midwife said to me, if you want this pain to stop, you just need to push. That's when it all started to go down. I just wasn't pushing. They offered me to have one of the big baths, so I did. I went in there trying to just breathe through the contractions, which were extremely painful with no pain relief. They tried to give me gas and air, however, I was gipping at taking anything like that. I'm really weird, I know. I couldn't even do gas and air, and I was just feeling it. I just felt like I was so dazed out and I just could not recognise myself in that moment. Got out of the bath and they tried to get my feet in that upward position, but because it was just so painful, it was so hard to do that. I did finally get my legs up, but it was just difficult. Something just kind of happened in this moment, and the two midwives that were in the room, honestly, so good. Like, they were amazing. They made the experience so good for me. Having my partner there as well, all were just being so supportive. Sorry, someone was at the door. In this moment, this is when I just realised I just need to go for it, push, and I just need to give it my all. And I did. I really did. And this is when you felt everything. Pain is a lot. I was just really going for it, and I wish I was one of those nice, sweet, quiet, like, could just push. No. Oh no. I was in there grunting, like, get out. I kept screaming as well. I can't do this. I can't do this. I was being so dramatic, like I couldn't do this, but then I'd just go for it again. Her head finally came out. My partner, which I didn't want him to do before we went into labour in the delivery room. However, when he was doing it, I just didn't give a crap. He was looking down there, so he was seeing everything going on. Honestly, it's not really a nice thought to think that your partner's just watching down there, your baby's head just coming out. However, he loved it. He was so in the moment and he was so supportive. A head came out, and that's a very surreal feeling. I feel like people don't talk about that moment where you just need to push out that head. That was like the hardest part, because I kept breathing in and bringing her head back up and then pushing it down again. I kept doing that for a few of the contractions, but I finally got my rhythm and I finally just did it. The midwives at this point helped me. The next contractions I pushed and they guided the rest of her body out. When she was out, the first initial thing that I did was nothing. I was just in complete and utter shock. I see these videos when people do these birth vlogs, and honestly, hats off to them. I could never ever do something like that. When she was out, they put her straight on me, and I've got to say, I didn't cry, I didn't do any of that. I was just in complete and utter shock that I've just got a human, and this human was inside me for 9 months and it's on me now. I was just in so much shock and I just couldn't take it in for a while. All of it is so blurry in my mind because it all felt so painful, so surreal, but also such an amazing experience. I understand now why people said they'd do it again, because I would. Even though it's probably the most painful thing I've ever done, it was one of the best experiences as well, and it was so magical. So amazing how I did that with no pain relief. For someone that's got such a low pain threshold, I have no idea how I did that with no pain relief, but I'm pretty proud. But like I said, if I could have pain relief, I would have gone for it. I just didn't have a choice. I had some skin to skin time with her, and then my partner did the same. Stayed in hospital that night. I didn't sleep a wink. I think I was on complete adrenaline and I didn't sleep at all. I was just constantly watching her. That was the main thing on my birth story, really. Part of that though is that after that all happened, I did have a bit of a scare afterwards. I was losing a lot of blood. Apologies if the camera has slightly changed. My camera overheated and it's got 8% battery, so I'm doing really well. Where was I? That night when I stayed at the hospital, the doctor came to see me because I was losing a lot of blood and it was just not stopping really. I was filling up one of the pads probably every 20 minutes, and it was quite worrying. So the midwives were supposed to check on these and weigh these. However, the midwife that I had on that night shift kind of took these and didn't really do anything with them. When it got to the next day, I thought it was getting better because it wasn't being as constant and I was desperate to get home. They discharged me and didn't really mention anything about it, and because I was so tired, I wanted to get home, I just thought I'm not going to mention anything either. Not really the smartest thing to do, but you know, girl was just very tired and just wanted to get home. You don't really think about your own health, do you? When you become a mother, you just think about the child that you have just birthed. That was what was going through my mind anyway. So when we got home, I was filling up pads and I did have some blood clots coming out. Sorry that this is going to be so detailed, but I feel like it's important to share. I was just trying not to worry about it too much. It got to the next day, the bleeding was not getting any better, and I had a really bad scare because I had got in the shower and I was just bleeding. Like if I didn't have a pad there, blood was going everywhere and it just would not stop. I got really upset about it because these huge clots came out, and I'm talking huge. I want you to imagine the biggest poo you've had falling into the toilet. That's what was happening with my blood clots, and it was just very, very scary. And when those clots came out, it was just constant bleeding for about 5 to 10 minutes. I couldn't move from the toilet, and I was starting to get really nervous now because this wasn't normal. Like, this shouldn't happen. We called hospital again and they told us to come back immediately, so we all had to go. We got seen straight up to the delivery room area where the doctor was, because they were quite concerned about this. Saw the doctor and he spoke about what it might be. I just didn't want the worst thing to happen. I just wanted to be home. I just hated that this was happening, and I just had my newborn baby. She was literally 2 days old. I just wanted to be home. I was just so emotional about it. And he said that he would have to do an inspection down there, so he did. Okay guys, we are back with 8% battery. So I'm going to try my hardest to be as quick as possible to say this last bit here. The doctor saw me. He had to do an inspection down below. When he was doing this inspection, he did mention to me the things that it might be. So he mentioned that it might be a part of the placenta still inside me, even though that the midwives checked my placenta after I gave birth. There might be a part of it and they might have missed something and it might still be there. So my body is still trying to get rid of it. My body couldn't get rid of it, which it couldn't. I might need to have surgery. That was the worst case scenario, which I was so nervous about and just hoped that it wouldn't be this. So when he did this inspection, he had to insert his fingers inside me, and of course I've just given birth, and the last thing that you want is anything going on down there because it's just such a sore and sensitive area. It felt awful. They gave me some gas and air, and this time I did take the gas and air and could take the gas and air. Baby. It was hard. It was just an awful experience, to be honest. While he was doing that, he was pressing on my stomach in certain areas to see if I felt pain, and there were certain parts what he was pushing down and more blood was coming out, getting these clots out of me and trying to make movement down there. And it was just not very nice. Like, it wasn't, but he was so calm and he was just so kind and he was talking me through it. There was another midwife there just giving me the gas and air and just speaking to me, and luckily my partner was dealing with our baby girl. After that I had to be on like a wait and watch for a little bit, so I couldn't move, and they were just checking that pad, seeing how things got on. Things were improving, so I could move around a little bit. Things improved a little bit more, but they wanted me to stay overnight, so we all stayed overnight. It was a hard night. Honestly, it was hard. It took a long time for us to actually get discharged and the doctor to sign off that we were fine to go and things were getting better down there. And what the doctor did when he was getting the rest of the things out improved it. And basically what happened is the placenta, when it came off the womb, off the wall of the womb, sorry, it left a bit of scarring. So my body was trying to heal this and block it off, and yeah, it was something like that was happening. But the main thing is that I was okay and I was on the road to recovery. So yeah, after that point we could go home, and that is when things just felt so much better, when I knew that I could go home. And the dogs were coming home because they'd been away from us at that point for about 5 days that they'd been away. So I was just so happy to see them when we did get home. The greeting was amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better. The last 4 weeks been settling in. Without further ado guys, I'm going to love you and leave you on this side because my battery's about to die, but I do want to share with you maybe something that you're interested in, and it is my baby girl's name. So we have called her Payden, and if you love your fictional books, then you'll know this name came from an amazing book which I gave, I'm sure, a 5-star rating for. from Powerless, and the main character's name is Payden, and I fell in love with the name. Her middle name is Louise, so is Payden Louise. I'm in love with her, and I cannot describe anything better than this love that I have. And it's just made me realise that I was made to be a mum. But yeah guys, I will speak to you all in my next video. It might not be a motherhood video, it might be something different, but we'll see. But I will speak to you all super soon. Bye.